Your day begins with the bone-rattling roar of lions, and your morning commute means dodging the swipe of an elephant's tusk. As a lion manager in ancient Rome, you live a life wilder than the beasts you tame, where every step into the Colosseum is a dance with death and glory. This is your story, and it's about to get ferocious. In ancient Rome, the Colosseum pulses with blood and spectacle, where gladiators clash and wild beasts steal the show. As a Bestiarius specializing in lions, you train and tame these ferocious creatures, sometimes facing them in the arena. Your life teeters between danger and fame, filled with roars, cheers, and bizarre moments. From a rural kid to a Colosseum star, your journey is anything but ordinary. Step into a world where every day tests your courage and cunning. You were born in a dusty little village in North Africa, where the Roman Empire hunted wild animals for their bloody games. Your home was a cluster of mud huts, surrounded by scrublands teeming with creatures destined for Rome's arenas. Life was simple, but the air buzzed with stories of far-off spectacles. Every roar in the distance hinted at the wild world you'd soon join. Your dad was a hunter, a grizzled man who wrestled lions and leopards to sell to Roman traders. He was your first hero, striding into the wilderness with a spear and a fearless grin. You trailed behind him, wide-eyed, as he taught you the tricks of the trade. His lessons weren't just about survival, they were your ticket to a bigger life. At 5, you were already tromping through the forest, learning to spot lion tracks in the dirt. You'd squat by paw prints, memorizing their size and shape, while your dad whispered about the beast's habits. One wrong step could mean a quick end, but you soaked up every word. Those early treks turned you into a kid who saw adventure in every rustling bush. One day, you got cocky and tried to pet a lion cub, only for it to snap at your hand with needle-sharp teeth. Most kids would have screamed, but you just laughed, thrilled by the danger. That moment sealed it. You weren't scared of these beasts, you were fascinated. Your heart raced, not with fear, but with a wild kind of joy. Your mom fueled your dreams with bedtime stories about legendary bestiarii, the animal tamers who dazzled Rome's crowds. She described their daring feats, her voice low and dramatic, as you lay on a straw mat, eyes wide. Those tales planted a seed. You wanted to be a hero in the arena, not just a village kid. Every night you drifted off dreaming of cheers and roaring lions. You learned to handle ropes and nets, your small hands practicing knots until they blistered. These weren't just tools. They were your future. The key to trapping beasts without getting mauled. Your dad would nod approvingly as you tossed a net over a log, pretending it was a charging leopard. Those skills were your first step toward the Colosseum. By 10, you helped your dad capture a full-grown lion, a beast that could have swallowed you whole. The village buzzed with shock as you dragged its cage back, your skinny arms trembling but your chest puffed with pride. You weren't just a kid anymore. You were a prodigy. That day, whispers spread that you were destined for greatness. You spent hours playing with smaller animals, like jackals, watching how they moved and reacted. It was like a game, figuring out what made them tick, whether it was a tossed bone or a sudden noise. Those moments taught you more about animal behavior than any lecture could. You were building a sixth sense for the wild. Life in the village was lean. Your meals were barley bread and whatever vegetables grew in the rocky soil. Meat was a rare treat, usually a scrap from a hunt gone wrong. You'd savor every bite, dreaming of the feasts you'd heard about in Rome. Hunger kept you sharp, always ready for the next challenge. Bathing meant a dip in the nearby river, where you'd scrub off the day's dirt while keeping an eye out for crocodiles. You'd seen their shadowy shapes gliding under the water, and it made every splash a little nerve-wracking, but you got used to it, turning bath time into a test of courage. The river was your first taste of living on the edge. In your free time, you hung around animal traders, soaking up their stories about Rome's grand arenas. They'd describe the Colosseum's roaring crowds and the beasts that starred in its shows, their words painting vivid pictures. You'd sit cross-legged in the dirt, hanging on every detail. Those tales made Rome feel like a magical, dangerous paradise. Your dad gave you a lion's tooth as a lucky charm, saying it would keep you safe. You'd rub it between your fingers, feeling its sharp edge, convinced it held some ancient power. It became your constant companion, tucked in your pocket during every hunt. That tooth was your link to the wild, a reminder of where you were headed. One day, you saw a lion hauled off in a cage, its roars shaking the forest like thunder. The sight was equal parts terrifying and thrilling, the beast's golden eyes locking onto yours as it passed. You couldn't look away. It was like the lion was daring you to follow it to Rome. That moment lit a fire in you, one that wouldn't go out. You learned to hunt as a team, moving with other hunters like a pack of wolves. Your dad taught you to be quick and fearless, dodging danger while keeping your cool. Those group hunts sharpened your reflexes and taught you trust, skills you'd need in the arena. Every step in the wild was a lesson in survival. By 12, you were tracking animals solo, creeping through the brush with a hunter's focus. Your dad watched from a distance, his proud smile saying more than words ever could. You'd become a force, a kid who could outsmart the wild. The village saw you as a star, but you knew this was just the beginning. Then, a Roman delegation rolled into the village, scouting for talent to work with wild animals. They were city folk in fancy tunics, their wagons loaded with cages that rattled with unseen beasts. Word of your skills had reached them, and they wanted to see if the rumors were true. You felt their eyes on you, sizing up the scrawny kid with big dreams. They'd heard about you, the teenager who'd been wrangling lions since you could walk. The village gathered, whispering, as the Romans called you forward. This was your shot, the moment you'd been waiting for. Your heart pounded, but you stood tall, ready to prove yourself. They set a test. Approach a young lion in a cage without spooking it. The beast paced, its eyes glinting with suspicion. As the crowd held its breath, you stepped forward, slow and steady, ignoring the sweat trickling down your back. This wasn't just a test, it was your destiny calling. You stayed calm, pulling a chunk of meat from your pouch and holding it out. The lion froze, sniffed, then crept closer, lured by the scent. When it took the meat without a growl, the Romans gasped, then clapped. You'd passed with flying colors, proving you had the guts and skill they needed. They offered you a place in Rome, training at Ludus Matutinus, the elite school for Bestiarii near the Colosseum. You'd leave your village for a life of danger and glory, a chance to become a legend. As you nodded yes, your family cheered, but your stomach twisted with excitement and fear. Rome was waiting, and so were its lions. You leave your village with your family's cheers ringing in your ears, their pride mingling with worry. They've heard the tales of Bestiarii meeting gruesome ends in Rome's arenas. You clutch your lion-tooth charm, a mix of excitement and dread bubbling in your chest. This is your big break. But the road ahead feels as wild as the beasts you'll tame. The journey to Rome takes weeks, bumping along dusty roads with cages of snarling animals. Every night, you camp under the stars, lulled to sleep by the eerie roars of lions and the grunts of other beasts. You're not just a passenger. You're already part of the chaos, watching the handlers and dreaming of the Colosseum. Each mile brings you closer to a life you can barely fathom. When you finally reach Rome, the city hits you like a thunderbolt. Towering aqueducts, bustling markets, and the colossal Colosseum leave you gawking like a kid at a festival. You've never seen anything so grand, and the arena's shadow looms large, whispering of glory and danger. You're here, in the heart of the empire, ready to carve your name into its story. Before you can start, the trainers at Ludus Matutinus put you through a grueling checkup. They poke at your muscles, test your reflexes, and grill you on animal handling, making sure you're not just some village dreamer. You pass, of course, your years of chasing jackals and dodging lions proving you've got what it takes. With a nod, they welcome you to the school, and your new life begins. A grizzled Bestiarius named Gaius takes you under his wing, his scarred face proof of his own battles with beasts. He's got a gravelly laugh and a knack for storytelling, promising to teach you every trick he knows. You hang on his every word, knowing this guy's survived things that would make most folks run screaming. Gaius is your guide, and you're ready to soak up his wisdom. At Ludus Matutinus, you settle into a rough camp near the Colosseum, where the air smells of straw and animal musk. Your new home is a cramped bunk among other trainees, the constant rumble of caged beasts your lullaby. It's not glamorous, but it's thrilling. Every day buzzing with the promise of action. You're not in the village anymore. You're on the edge of something huge. You start learning to read a lion's mood through its eyes and stance, like deciphering a grumpy old man's grumbles. A twitch of the tail or a narrowed gaze could mean the difference between a pat and a pounce. Gaius drills this into you, making you study the beasts until you can predict their next move. It's like learning a secret language, and you're determined to master it. Your trainers teach you to wield a whip, not to hurt the lions but to guide them with sharp cracks. It's a delicate dance, commanding respect without sparking rage, and you practice until your arm aches. You fumble at first, earning a few growls, but soon you're snapping the whip like a pro. The lions start listening, and you feel like a wizard taming the wild. Food becomes your secret weapon, chunks of raw beef dangled to coax lions into obeying. You learn to time your rewards perfectly, turning a snarling beast into a grudging ally with a well-placed slab of meat. It's messy work, your hands sticky with blood, but seeing a lion follow your lead makes it worth it. You're not just feeding them, you're building trust. The biggest lesson is staying calm, because lions can sniff out fear like a dog smells dinner. Gaius tells you to breathe slow, and keep your heart steady, even when a lion's staring you down. You practice this under his watchful eye, learning to mask your nerves with a cocky grin. It's tough, but you're getting the hang of fooling even the fiercest beasts. You start training with smaller animals, like jackals, to build your confidence before facing lions. These scrappy critters are quick and cunning, teaching you to stay sharp and move fast. You chase them around pens, laughing as they outsmart you, but each session makes you bolder. It's like a warm-up for the real deal, and you're itching to step up. One day, a lion cub swipes your arm, leaving a jagged scratch that stings like fire. You wince but grin, calling the scar your first badge of honor. Proof you're in the game. The other trainees tease you, but you wear it proudly, flexing your arm like a gladiator. That mark tells the world you're not afraid to bleed for this. The pressure's on to perform, because arena shows demand split-second precision. You drill endlessly, learning to move with the animals like a dance partner, not a foe. One wrong cue could ruin a show, or worse, and the trainers don't let you forget it. You're sweating, but the thought of the Colosseum's cheers keeps you pushing. You're taught combat skills, like thrusting a spear to keep a beast at bay without killing it. It's not about slaying, it's about control, keeping the crowd thrilled while staying alive. You practice until your muscles scream, the spear becoming an extension of your arm. You're not just a tamer, you're a warrior in training. Some lessons are pure comedy, like trying to get lions to stand on their hind legs for a show. They wobble and flop over, looking more like drunk uncles than fierce predators, and you can't help but laugh. The trainers roll their eyes, but these moments lighten the grind. Even the king of beasts has an off day. You learn to work with other bestiarii, syncing your moves to handle multiple animals at once. It's like herding cats, if those cats had claws and could eat you. You practice signals and timing, turning chaos into a choreographed spectacle. The teamwork feels good, like you're part of a wild, fearless crew. Then, you see a trainee get mauled by a lion after a careless move, his screams echoing in the camp. It shakes you to your core, a brutal reminder of what's at stake. You lie awake that night, clutching your lion tooth, vowing to stay sharp. The arena doesn't forgive mistakes, and you're not ready to be its next victim. You're taught about other animals, like elephants and leopards, to prep for the Colosseum's grander shows. Each beast has its quirks, from an elephant's stubborn bulk to a leopard's sneaky speed, and you study them all. It's a crash course in the Empire's menagerie, and you're thrilled by the variety. The arena's a stage, and you're learning to direct its stars. After a year, you're handed your biggest challenge: training a fierce female lion named Luna. She's all teeth and attitude, glaring at you like you owe her money. And the trainers warn she's a handful. You take a deep breath, ready to prove yourself. Luna's your test, and you're determined to win her over. Luna's no pushover. But you start small, offering meat and keeping your distance, letting her get used to you. Slowly, she stops snarling, her golden eyes softening just a fraction. And you feel a spark of hope. Building trust with this beast is like coaxing a storm to calm, but every step forward feels like a victory. You and Luna are just getting started, and the Colosseum's waiting. You wake at dawn to the bone-shaking roars of lions echoing from the Colosseum's underground cages. It's not exactly a gentle alarm clock, but it gets you moving, stumbling out of your bunk with gritty eyes. Your day's about to be a wild ride, and those growls are your morning coffee. You grab your gear, ready to dive into the chaos. Your first job is checking the lion's health, eyeing them for limps or dull fur that might signal trouble. You crouch by their cages, muttering to Luna and the others, looking for signs of sickness while they stare back like grumpy royalty. It's part vet work, part staring contest, and you've learned to spot problems before they become disasters. A healthy lion means a happy crowd, and you're not about to let the show flop. Feeding time means hauling slabs of raw beef or lamb from the city's slaughterhouses to the cages. The lions pounce on the meat, tearing into it with jaws that could snap you in half, and you keep your distance, tossing the food through bars. The smell's enough to turn your stomach, but you grin as Luna chomps away. It's messy, but it keeps your star performers ready for the arena. Cleaning the cages is the worst part, a stinking slog that has you gagging as you shovel out straw and worse. The stench clings to you like a bad reputation, and you hold your breath, cursing under the baking sun. But it's gotta be done. A filthy cage could sicken your lions, and you're not risking Luna's health. You finish up, dreaming of the bathhouse to wash off the funk. Every day, you train the lions, coaxing them to follow commands or leap through flaming hoops for the big shows. You stand in the practice yard, whip in hand, guiding Luna through her paces while she gives you the occasional side-eye. It's a battle of wills, but when she nails a jump, you cheer like a proud parent. These sessions are your chance to shine, turning beasts into stars. One time, Luna decided mid-show to skip the hoop and take a nap in the arena, sprawling out like a sunbathing cat. The crowd roared with laughter, and you stood there, half embarrassed, half amused, trying to nudge her awake. It was a flop, but the Romans loved the comedy, and you learned even a lion can steal the spotlight. You still tease Luna about her diva moment. Breakfast for you is simple. Crusty bread, a handful of olives, and a chunk of cheese. Wolf down between tasks. If you pull off a great show, the trainers might toss you some meat as a bonus, a rare treat that tastes like victory. You savor those moments, sitting in the shade, dreaming of the day you'll feast like a senator. For now, this is fuel to keep you going. You clean up at the public bathhouse, scrubbing off the day's grime in steamy pools packed with other bestiarii. It's a noisy hangout where you swap stories of close calls and lion antics over the splash of water. You leave feeling human again, your skin free of cage muck, ready to face another day. The bathhouse is your sanctuary in Rome's wild hustle. Your everyday clothes are a plain tunica, rough but practical for the dusty work of animal handling. For arena days, you don a special cloak, its bright colors making you look like a proper showman, even if you're sweating buckets underneath. It's not high fashion, but it gives you a boost, like armor for the Colosseum stage. You strut a little, knowing the crowd's watching. You carry a short whip and a small knife, your only defense when working with lions. The whip's for signals, not cruelty, but the knife's a last resort if a beast gets too frisky. You pat the blade at your side, hoping you'll never need it, but it's a comfort when Luna's in a mood. These tools are your lifeline, keeping you one step ahead of danger. Free time means hitting the taverns, where you sip watered-down wine and listen to tales of gladiator fights. The air's thick with laughter and boasts, and you lean in, soaking up stories of epic battles and narrow escapes. It's your chance to unwind, swapping your own lion yarns with wide-eyed locals. These nights make Rome feel like home. Before every show, you pause at a statue of Mars, muttering a quick prayer for protection. You're not sure if the war god's listening, but the ritual steadies your nerves, like a deep breath before a plunge. With the Colosseum looming, you need all the luck you can get. You touch your lion tooth charm just in case Mars needs a nudge. That lion tooth from your childhood stays tucked in your pocket, your trusty good luck charm. You rub it absent-mindedly, its smooth edge a reminder of the village and the kid who dreamed of this life. It's been with you through every close call, and you're convinced it saved your skin more than once. It's small, but it's your anchor in the storm. One day, a cheeky monkey in the camp snatches your hat and bolts, leading you on a ridiculous chase through the tents. You're tripping over ropes, cursing as the little thief swings from a pole, your hat in its paws. The other bestiari howl with laughter, and you finally nab the hat, red-faced but grinning. Even the animals here keep you on your toes. You live in a noisy camp near the Colosseum, where the stench of beasts and the clatter of cages never stop. Your bunk's a thin mat in a tent, surrounded by the grunts and growls of animals waiting for their arena debut. It's a far cry from a palace, but the energy's electric, like living on the edge of a volcano. You wouldn't trade it for anything. You've gotten good at reading a lion's mood through its roars and glances, like a friend who doesn't need words. A low growl means Luna's cranky. A flick of her tail says she's curious. You use this to stay one step ahead, knowing when to push her or back off. It's a skill that keeps you alive and makes you a better tamer. Sometimes, your job includes checking animal cages before they're hauled to the arena, making sure the bars are tight and the locks secure. You crawl around, tapping wood and tugging chains, knowing a loose cage could spell disaster. It's tedious, but you've heard horror stories of escapes, and you're not about to let that happen on your watch. Rome's scorching sun has you sweating buckets, your tunica sticking to your skin as you work. You wipe your brow, cursing the heat, but there's no shade in the training yard or the cages. You tough it out, dreaming of cool bathhouse water and a breeze that doesn't smell of lion. The sun's just another beast you've got to tame. You've got a buddy, another Bestiarius, who trains elephants and has a laugh as big as his beasts. You two swap tips and tall tales, his stories of stubborn pachyderms matching your lion woes. He's your go-to for a quick joke or a clap on the back when the job gets heavy. In this wildlife, a friend like him is worth more than gold. You keep a strict routine, waking early, training hard, and staying sharp for the arena's demands. Every move's calculated, from feeding schedules to practice drills, because slacking could cost you everything. You're not just a tamer, you're a machine, built for the Colosseum's relentless pace. This discipline's what keeps you alive and ready for whatever comes next. You're part of the Colosseum's grand opening, a spectacle where 9,000 animals, from lions to ostriches, are unleashed in a frenzy of claws and chaos. You're behind the scenes, guiding Luna and her crew through the madness, your heart pounding as the crowd roars louder than the beasts. It's a blood-soaked extravaganza, and you're right in the thick of it, dodging hooves and hoping your training holds up. The sheer scale of it leaves you dizzy, but you're hooked on the thrill. One day, you watch a single lion take down 200 opponents in a staged hunt, its jaws snapping through armor like it's parchment. The arena's a blur of dust and screams, and you're frozen, awestruck by the raw power you've helped unleash. You glance at Luna, wondering if she's got that same fire, and feel a mix of pride and dread. This is what you've trained for, but it's a brutal reminder of the stakes. A heart-stopping moment comes when a raging lion corners a fellow Bestiarius in the arena, and you leap in, spear raised, to draw it off. The beast turns, eyes blazing, and you stare it down, your whip cracking like thunder to buy your friend time to scramble away. The crowd cheers, but you're shaking, knowing how close you came to being lunch. That's the job! Part hero, part lunatic, all guts. Your big break comes when Luna nails a jaw-dropping leap through a flaming hoop, landing with a swagger that sends the crowd wild. You're in the wings, grinning like an idiot, as the Romans chant your name for training such a star. It's the kind of moment you dreamed of as a kid, and for once, the Colosseum feels like your kingdom. You give Luna an extra chunk of meat that night, your MVP. The crowd's cheers make you feel like a hero, their shouts echoing in your ears as you wave from the arena's edge. For a fleeting second, you're untouchable, a legend in the making, soaking up the love of thousands. But the high fades fast when you're back in the cages, scrubbing straw and dodging claws. Fame's sweet, but it's the lions who keep you grounded. You've seen too many bestiari fall, their screams cut short by a lion's jaws or a bear's swipe. Each loss hits like a punch, a grim tally of friends and rivals who didn't make it out. You carry their names quietly, a weight that sharpens your focus every time you step into the arena. The Colosseum's a hungry beast, and you're not ready to feed it. One day, you're checking a leopard's cage when it lunges, its claws grazing your arm as you jerk back just in time. Your heart's in your throat, the cage rattling as the beast snarls, and you curse your own carelessness. You patch up the scratch, laughing it off to the other bestiarii. But it's a wake-up call. Even routine tasks in this job can turn deadly. You team up with engineers to design elaborate arena setups, like trapdoors and moving platforms for epic animal shows. It's like choreographing a dance with teeth, plotting every move to wow the crowd while keeping everyone alive. You love the puzzle, brainstorming ways to make Luna's next leap even flashier. It's hard work, but it's what makes the Colosseum's magic happen. Not every show goes smoothly. One time, a lion slips its handler and bolts across the arena, sending spectators scrambling. You're racing after it, whip in hand, trying to herd it back while the crowd laughs and jeers. It's a humiliating mess, and the trainers chew you out later, but you can't help chuckling at the lion's audacity. Sometimes, the animals are the real stars. A flawless performance for the Emperor earns you a fat purse of coins, more money than you've ever seen. You're grinning as you pocket the cash, dreaming of a proper feast or maybe a new cloak that doesn't smell of lion. It's a rare win, a reminder that all the sweat and scares can pay off. You treat your crew to drinks that night, toasting to survival. The Colosseum's opening saw 9,000 animals slaughtered, a number so huge it's hard to wrap your head around. You were there, watching lions and rhinos fall in a brutal parade of death that left the sand red. It's a grim spectacle, and though you're used to the arena's bloodlust, that scale sticks with you. Rome's appetite for carnage is a beast of its own. Lions aren't born to attack humans, but you've seen how hunger and whips twist their instincts into something unnatural. You're part of it, training Luna to lunge on cue, her eyes glinting with a hunger you helped create. It's unsettling, knowing you're bending nature for the crowd's cheers, but it's the job. You push the guilt down and keep moving. You hear tales of Carpophorus, a Bestiarius so legendary he took down 20 beasts in one show, a blur of spear and courage. The other Bestiari whisper his name like he's a god, and you can't help but measure yourself against him. Could you ever be that bold? For now, you're just glad to survive each day with Luna. Some Bestiarii, facing certain death, choose to end it themselves rather than be torn apart in the arena. You've heard the stories, seen the haunted looks of those sent to face impossible odds. It's a dark shadow over your work, a reminder that not every fight is winnable. You grip your lion-tooth charm tighter, determined to beat the odds. Rome brings in exotic creatures like rhinos, hippos, and giraffes, turning the Colosseum into a bizarre zoo of the empire's reach. You gape at these strange beasts, half wondering how you'll handle them if they're ever your charge. Their presence makes every show a gamble, a mix of awe and terror for you and the crowd. It's Rome's way of keeping things fresh and deadly. You once saw an elephant forced to fight a squad of infantry, its massive bulk trampling shields as the crowd cheered. It was a lopsided, ugly spectacle, the soldiers' spears no match for the beast's rage. You felt a pang for the creature, caught in Rome's games just like you. The arena doesn't care who's human or not. Emperor Commodus, in a fit of showmanship, slaughtered 100 bears in a single day, strutting like a hunter while the crowd went wild. You watched from the sidelines, amazed and a little sickened by the sheer excess. His antics make your lion taming seem tame, but you're glad to stick to your own battles. At least Luna doesn't demand applause. To make animals fiercer, handlers often starve them, turning hungry snarls into bloodthirsty roars. You've seen it done, the lion's ribs showing as they're primed for the arena, and it twists your gut. You slip Luna extra meat when you can, hating how the system warps her nature. It's a small rebellion, but it helps you sleep. One day, you see a lion gently carry a rabbit in its jaws, refusing to harm it despite the crowd's boos. It's a rare, quiet moment in the arena's chaos, the lion's soft side shining through the bloodshed. You're stunned, wondering if Luna could surprise you like that, and it gives you hope. Even in this brutal world, there's room for mercy. Some bestiarii become celebrities, their names chanted by adoring fans who toss flowers and coins. You've seen it, the way the crowd lifts them up, and you dream of that glory for yourself. Every time you step out with Luna, you're chasing that spotlight, hoping to be more than just another tamer. In Rome, fame is as addictive as danger. You've got a sweetheart in Rome, a kind-eyed woman who frets every time you head to the Colosseum. She's always waiting outside the arena, her face pale until she sees you walk out alive, and you flash her a grin to ease her nerves. Her worry's a reminder that someone cares if you make it through the day, and it keeps you grounded. You steal quick moments with her, promising you'll be careful, even if you both know the risks. You love sipping watered-down wine, a Roman habit that's half refreshment, half ritual. It's tart and cool, cutting through the dust of the camp, and you savor it in the tavern with a smirk, feeling briefly civilized. The stuff's not fancy, but it loosens you up after a day dodging lion claws. You raise a cup to Luna, joking that she'd probably prefer blood. Saturnalia rolls around, and you dive into the festival's chaos, where Rome turns into a whirlwind of feasting and dancing. You're in the streets, stuffing your face with honeyed bread and spinning with strangers under torchlight, laughing till your sides ache. It's a rare break from the arena's grind, a chance to feel alive without a whip in hand. You stumble back to camp at dawn, buzzing with the joy of it all. You've got a buddy who's a gladiator, a hulking guy with scars and stories of duels that keep you glued to your seat. He spins tales of clashing swords and roaring crowds over a jug of wine, his eyes gleaming with pride. You swap your lion-taming yarns, each trying to outdo the other, and it's like you're brothers in this mad world. His grit inspires you to face the arena with the same fire. In your downtime, you play dice with the other Bestiarii, tossing bones in the dirt and betting scraps of coin or extra bread. The games get rowdy, with shouts and groans as luck swings wild, and you're grinning even when you lose. It's a simple way to blow off steam, a reminder that you're still just a guy, not just a lion wrangler. You pocket your winnings, plotting to buy a better knife someday. You visit a Roman zoo once, gawking at bizarre creatures like zebras and crocodiles penned up for the elite to ogle. It's a strange mirror of your own work, these animals caged far from home, and you feel a twinge of kinship with them. You toss a pebble at a dozing hyena, half expecting it to wink back, and leave with a mix of awe and unease. Rome's obsession with the wild never stops surprising you. You've got a scrappy little dog as a companion, a mutt who trails you around camp but bolts at the sight of Luna's cage. His yips when a lion roars make you chuckle, and you sneak him bits of your bread, calling him your bravest coward. He's a small comfort in the camp's chaos, curling up by your bunk at night. You swear he's better company than half the bestiarii. Street musicians in Rome catch your ear, their flutes and lyres weaving tunes that drift through the bustling markets. You pause to listen, leaning against a wall as the music washes over you, a brief escape from the arena's roar. It's a slice of beauty in a city built on blood, and you toss a coin to the players, wishing you could carry their songs with you. For a moment, you're just another Roman, lost in the melody. You try learning to ride a horse once, picturing yourself galloping into the arena like some epic hero. Instead, you flop off the saddle in front of your snickering colleagues, landing in the dust with a thud that bruises your pride more than your backside. You laugh it off, vowing to stick to lions, but the memory stings. At least Luna never threw you like that. To unwind, you sketch lions on the camp walls, scratching crude shapes into the wood with a nail. It's no masterpiece, but tracing Luna's mane or a snarling jaw calms your nerves, like a prayer to the beasts you tame. The other bestiarii tease you, calling it your art gallery. But you keep at it. It's your way of making sense of the wild in your head. A lion's claw catches your leg one day, tearing a gash that leaves you hobbling for a month. The pain's brutal, and you grit your teeth through the healer's stitches, cursing Luna's bad mood. You're stuck on light duties, itching to get back to the arena, but the scar's another badge, proof you're still in the game. You limp around, joking that it's your new battle wound. You watch a Bestiarius get crushed by a hippo in the arena, its massive jaws snapping him like a twig before the crowd's horrified gasps. The sight haunts you, a sickening reminder that no one's safe, not even the best. You mutter a prayer for him that night, your lion tooth clenched in your fist. The arena's a monster, and you're dancing on its teeth. Sponsors pile on pressure, demanding flawless shows that dazzle Rome's elite, their coin riding on your success. You sweat through every rehearsal, knowing a slip could cost you their favor and your livelihood. It's exhausting, turning art into a high-stakes gamble. But you thrive on the challenge. You and Luna have to shine, or it's back to the shadows. One night, a lion breaks free from its cage, rampaging through the camp as you and the others scramble to trap it. It's chaos, with shouts and crashing wood as the beast tears through tents, your heart racing as you corner it with nets. You finally wrangle it back, panting and shaken. But the camp's a wreck. You laugh it off later, but it's a close call you won't forget. You learn to treat animal wounds with herbs and bandages, patching up Luna's scrapes from arena scuffles. It's delicate work, smearing pungent salves while she glares. But you talk her through it, keeping her calm. You're half healer, half tamer, proud when her cuts heal clean. It's a small win, keeping your star ready for the next show. The crowd turns on you once when a show flops, their boos ringing in your ears as Luna refuses her cues. You stand in the arena, face burning, trying to coax her while Romans hurl insults and rotten fruit. It's a low point, but you shrug it off, knowing the crowd's fickle. You and Luna will win them back next time. Rivalry brews among the Bestiarii, with some eyeing your success with Luna and itching to outshine you. They push harder, flaunt, flashier tricks, and you feel the heat, knowing you've got to stay sharp. You keep your cool, focusing on Luna's training, but the competition's a constant prod. In the Colosseum, everyone's clawing for the top. During an elephant training session, you nearly get squashed when the beast lumbers too close, its trunk swinging like a battering ram. You dive out of the way, heart hammering, as your friend laughs and calls you the luckiest fool alive. It's a stark reminder that every animal here's a gamble, even the ones you don't tame. You dust off and keep going, adrenaline still buzzing. You always carry a small knife, tucked at your waist, a quiet reassurance when you're face to face with Luna or her kin. It's not much against a lion's jaws, but it's better than nothing, a last-ditch defense if things go south. You've never had to use it, and you pray you won't, but it's there, cool against your skin. In this life, you're always one growl from trouble. Every day, you live with the gnawing fear that you might not walk out of the Colosseum alive. Each roar, each show could be your last, and the thought lingers like a shadow, even on good days. You push it down, gripping your lion tooth and focusing on Luna, but it's always there. You're a Bestiarius, dancing with death, and that's the deal you signed up for. Your life as a lion manager in ancient Rome is a whirlwind of heart-pounding danger, fleeting glory, and moments of unexpected humor. From your village days, tracking beasts, to taming Luna in the Colosseum's shadow, you've faced the wild with grit and cunning. Each roar, each cheer, weaves a story of survival against impossible odds. You've danced with death, won the crowd's love, and carried scars that tell tales louder than words. This is your legacy, etched in the blood-soaked sands of Rome's greatest arena, a testament to a life lived fiercely and fearlessly.